Well, Graham Potter has stressed there is no silver bullet to solve the issues that his West Ham side currently face, but a win over London rivals Chelsea in front of a packed London stadium tonight would inject a dose of much-needed positivity. As a minimum, the fans expect fight, battle, giving everything, not just for 3 points, but to put some respect back in the shirt after that opening day embarrassment at newly promoted Sunderland. Kick-off here at 8 p.m. It is live and exclusive on national radio right here on Talksport as we bring you a big London derby. In fact, derby here in action over on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, as they take on Bristol City, and it's just the beginning of a massive weekend of live football across the network. We'll have over 500 games this season, and we will be at the Etihad tomorrow lunchtime on Talksport for exclusive coverage of Manchester City against Tottenham Hotspur. We'll have Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Troy Deeney, Matt Murray and Mickey Gray from 2:30 p.m, including Burnley against Sunderland and Brentford against Aston Villa. Over on Talksport 2 tomorrow, it's a championship doubleheader. Charlton versus Leicester at lunchtime and Wrexham against Sheffield Wednesday from 3 o'clock. And don't forget, on Sunday, Game Day Live with Sam Matterface, Perry Groves and Charlie Adam will come from the first Premier League game, the opening of the Hill Dickinson Stadium. A reminder, by the way, this evening, if you haven't heard it, Everton agreeing a £42 million fee for Southampton's Tyler Dibling, with a reported 20% sell-on fee included in the deal. We will end the weekend, by the way, at St James's Park for a massive clash between Newcastle United and Liverpool, live and exclusive on national radio right here on Talksport. We're reporting tonight on the Women's Rugby World Cup. The opening game sees England take on the United States. We've got another try for Alfie Reynolds.
Midway through the first half, England 14, USA 0. Hannah Bottoman with England's second try. But the brilliance from Meg Jones in the build-up. She ran over the top of Georgie Perris-Redding to get England on the front foot before nailing the crossfield kick for Abby Dow. And it was Bottoman that went over shortly after. We've played 22 and a half minutes. It's England 14, USA 0.
A light show begins here at the London Stadium as we await the players who've gone back down the tunnel at the end of their warm-up. Danny Murphy, the former England midfielder, alongside myself and Jim Proudfoot. Let's talk Chelsea, who are working some magic, let's call it that, in the transfer window. Today they've sold Renato Vega to Villarreal for £26 million. That means they have now sold £250 million worth of players this summer alone, which is rather incredible. It allows them to keep spending. João Pedro, Liam Delap, they both start tonight. Willian Esteval, Jamie Gittens, Uriel Hato, the kind of key names that have come in. They've brought several more. We've gone on loan to their sister club, Strasbourg. Am I missing something, or should this team be in the hunt for the Premier League title?
Well, I don't think we've ever seen a team win a Premier League title without a sprinkling of experience and know-how. All the teams over the years have had a little bit of that. They haven't got it. They've gone a different way. We've talked about the formula they're using before. It's high risk. It might be high reward. My gut feeling is, from a footballing perspective, they're lacking at centre-half and goalkeeper. And I don't think any of their defenders that are in their squad get in the Arsenal, Man City or Liverpool's back or their centre-half. You know, none of them get in their centre-half position. One of the key positions on the pitch. None of them. Even if Colwill was fit, he wouldn't get in Man City, Liverpool's or Arsenal's team.
You mentioned Colwill, serious ACL injury.
Yeah,
he's out for an extended time.
I like him, by the way. I'm not critical. He's a good player and he's evolving and he's becoming more accomplished. But in terms of when you win league titles, you need your centre-halves to be solid and work as a pair, and also have a keeper behind you who's dominant. Chelsea are lacking that. Now, they're going to be great to watch. They're going to score a bag full of goals, and on their day they will beat some of the big teams, no doubt. But over a 38-game season, I think that's where they'll be lacking.
Obviously, Chelsea play with a back four, but they build up with a three. Colwill's the one in the middle of the three because of his passing ability. And Enzo Maresca's talked at length about the fact that he feels that he's a massive miss from that point of view. Now, actually, Ampong played in that role last week. It's going to be Chalobah who plays there today. And both can do it, but they can't do it as well as Colwill. With no disrespect to either of them, Maresca's desperate to get another centre-half into the club who can do that. And it seems as though he's been told by the hierarchy, no, you deal with what you have in that position. I agree with Danny that it's an area they really need to strengthen if this is going to be a 24-carat title challenge.
The problem they've got is, even if they were to strengthen it, they're not going to strengthen it with an experienced guy who's top of the tree in his position. They're going to go for another potential.
Yeah.
And a centre-half, that's hard. Really, really difficult.
They are expected to win here this evening and win comfortably. They've got a host of incredible attacking talent, youngsters that we're excited to see on the pitch. Cole Palmer, who of course is going to play better than he played last weekend. New signings, Delap and Pedro in the team. Just seeing a bit of breaking news actually that Cole Palmer was injured during the warm-up ahead of the match. He left the warm-up early and we're seeing some pictures of him on our screen. He's sitting in the dugout, coat on, hood up. It does not look like Cole Palmer will be starting this game this evening, which is a blow for Chelsea.
Huge blow, and he looks really deflated. I mean, that's only happened to me once or twice in my career, and it's the worst feeling in the world because you're feeling great 1 minute, looking forward to the game, and something just tweaked. Let's hope it's not too bad. We're yet to see the replacement. We'll get there in a minute.
Esteban Willian, the youngster.
The youngster, okay.
Will be starting. He was impressive off the bench.
He was, and he's a super talent, so we'll look forward to seeing him. But let's fingers crossed for Cole Palmer. It's not.
I've got my fingers crossed that we get something more from this West Ham attack today. Everything goes through Jarrod Bowen, their captain. It's a huge year for him trying to force his way into the England World Cup squad. But listen to these stats when it comes to West Ham's attack. Of teams to play last season and this season since Graham Potter's appointment, they are bottom for expected goals, for shots on target, for chances created from open play, for passes into the box, including crosses as well. They've sold Mohamed Kudus to Spurs. Lucas Paqueta needs to improve, of course, now cleared of his spot-fixing charges. But that area of the pitch is still a big, big concern.
It is. I mean, the lack of creativity is evident. Paqueta should be doing more. Obviously, Kudus is a lot loss. The fullbacks don't give them too much, do they, going forward in terms of assists? I think their best chance tonight is set plays. They're a big side. Souček's back in, Fulkrug. The centre-halves are all big lads. And Chelsea aren't the biggest team in the world.
They also need this crowd behind them tonight.
They do, and they'll get it behind them if they do what you said. The work ethic, tenacity, the commitment to the cause. Show these fans that they want to play for the shirt.
We shall see the players out there at the moment. Chelsea, most possession, most passes on the opening weekend. They had 19 shots, only 3 on target. So they put in Liam Delap, they put in João Pedro. They should score a shed load, no?
I'd be amazed if they draw another blank tonight with the firepower they've got. Although, let's be honest, Cole Palmer is a big, big miss. He's their most creative force. He's a goal scorer. He creates chances for the others. It's a big, big blow that is for the Chelsea side, but gives someone else a chance.
Let's get over very quickly to Alfie Reynolds. England versus USA at the Women's Rugby World Cup.
England 14, USA 7. A response from the USA, a brilliant try finished by the second row. Erica Jarrell-Searcy running it in from 30 metres. 27 gone, England 14, USA 7.
Well, it's only the second game of the Premier League season, but already it feels like the Hammers could end the campaign in a perilous position. Is it too early to panic, or should alarm bells already be ringing? Graham Potter will hope to ease the pressure as East meets West in a London derby, live and exclusively here on Talksport. It is West Ham versus Chelsea in the company of former England Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy and Talksport's Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Hugh, and a very good evening to you. Well, week 2 and the pressure's already on. Any opening weekend defeat polarises opinion like few others. 90 minutes that's in danger of setting the tone for the whole season. But a 3-0 defeat against newly promoted opposition heightens the sense of impending doom. Now, having seen the Black Cats cross their path, it's the small matter of the world champions. Chelsea's start wasn't as inauspicious, but they didn't create too many clear-cut chances in their goalless draw with Palace. Tonight they field an even more attacking lineup as they look to kickstart a title challenge against the side they've beaten in each of their last 3 meetings. Hermansen's making his home debut in goal for West Ham. Toshibo, Kilman and again the back 3. Wan-Bissaka, Ward-Prowse, Souček and Diouf. Then Paqueta in behind Bowen and Fulkrug. Chelsea have Sanchez in goal, Gusto back at right back alongside Chalobah, Tosin and Cucurella. Fernandes and Caicedo. Esteval, who's in for Palmer, who's injured in the warm-up. João Pedro and Neto and Delap. And on the benches, Areola, Walker-Peters, Wilson, Mavropanos and Rodriguez. Scarles, Potts, Irving and Marshall. Jurgensen, Giddins, Asugo, Andre Santos and Harto, James Fofana and Achiampong. We're underway. Chelsea in their change kit of all black, their third kit, and they're kicking from right to left in this first half at the London Stadium. The Irons yet to fire. The Blues top of the world, but the start of the season was tinged with just a little frustration. And it's a London derby with plenty on it already, but who's going to be able to make capital? Alongside me, Danny Murphy. Danny, you talked about the blow for Cole Palmer, for Chelsea losing him in the warm-up, but what about young Stavo coming in for his first Premier League start? And 15 minutes ago, he certainly wouldn't have anticipated that.
No, and sometimes that can be a blessing because you don't overthink and worry yourself about your performance. You just go out and play. He's got super talent. He's quick, skillful. He looks fearless for such a young player. So it gives him a great opportunity. But I still think the way Cole Palmer knits the team together and has that calmness and that influence on games is a blow for them. But they have got that. That's why they've got the strength and depth. That's why they spend the money.
And they have possession here with Cucurella slicing the ball forward straight out of play for a throw that will be taken on the West Ham United right by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Hammer's last home win against Leicester back in late February. They've only won twice here in 2025. Toshibo with a touch back to his goalkeeper, Mes Hermansen, the former Leicester man who arrived in a £20 million deal. And then a free kick is given West Ham's way. Souček is just eased to the ground, pulled down in the heart of the midfield. Couple of minutes gone here on Talksport. 0-0 between West Ham and Chelsea. Same scoreline as well in the Championship game that we're bringing you live over on Talksport 2. Derby against Bristol City, with the Robins with a chance to go top of the table at the start of this fledgling Championship season. We've got more live football for you over the course of the campaign than anyone else, and yet again the Talksport network giving you a choice of listening tonight. The Hammers in possession, digging a ball out towards the right hand side that Wan-Bissaka will chase after, but it's sprinted away past him off the turf and bounces a couple of times over the line, down by the corner flag for a throw that will be taken by Chelsea's left back Mark Cucurella. 0-0.
It was good from Fulkrug though, dropping into the space, good touch, nearly a decent ball. We haven't seen the best of him yet. We've seen glimpses. We know what he can do. He could be a real handful if they can get him enough of the ball.
Yeah, he's only scored the one goal here, without a goal in his last 10 matches for club and country since he netted against Bournemouth back in April. Just the 3 goals in West Ham colours so far, but in his defence, had a long spell out where he was injured and then struggled for fitness. He's not had too many opportunities to shine from the start. Paquetá putting pressure on. It should have been an easy ball for the Chelsea back line to clear. Tosin put a hand up to acknowledge his error. He did get it away, but the Hammers can win the seconds, and again it's Fulkrug that's dropping deep, knitting up the play in the midfield. He goes to his right hand side for Toshibo, and in turn he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Mes Hermansen inside his penalty area away to our left hand side, with the Hammers kicking from left to right. The Chelsea visiting support away to our right. That's the end of the ground that Chelsea are defending in this first half. Gusto with a poor defensive header which falls over on the West Ham United left for Souček. Now back for Gerd. Worked through the midfield by Ward-Prowse. It took a deflection before Gusto could slice it away, and he goes out for a throw that West Ham will take on halfway. Still goalless.
Yeah, it looks like Souček's going to be the one who's a bit deeper, especially when the goalkeeper's got it on the back four, trying to screen the lap a little bit a couple of times, and Prowse will help him out. Ward-Prowse will help him out when he can, and Paquetá's going to be the one who tries to give some support to Fulkrug and Bowen.
Bowen chasing here, but Chelsea again able to easily work it back for their goalkeeper. Sanchez clears it away down towards Cucurella. Cucurella back for Moise Caicedo, who was under immediate pressure, tried to play out, found himself just in at left back for a moment. He did get it away, but West Ham with some decent intense pressing from the front, now work it forward down the line, but Bowen's offside. And it's a free kick to Chelsea in their left back position, but a decent foothold in the game in these early stages.
Good intensity from West Ham. Looks like they're out to prove a point. They're on the front foot. It'd be interesting to watch Chelsea when they've got Delap up top, if they do mix it up a little bit more, and when they're under a bit of pressure and lost the ball once or twice, because we know they try and play out, if they can just clip a couple into him and get out that way.
A slight defensive tweak from last week as well, with Malo Gusto coming in to replace Reece James. It's Cucurella who is the full-back that sits in the centre-half position when they're building up. And Gusto's the one that is given licence to push forward. It was Cucurella in that role when James was playing last week. Here come West Ham again with a shot from distance. Oh, what a stunning goal! A magnificent strike from Lucas Paquetá. If ever a moment could kickstart a season, it might just be that. Paquetá nearly 30 yards out on his left foot, and he has blazed it past Sanchez into the top right-hand corner. Well, they were terrible last week, but they're off to a flyer here in the derby. It's West Ham 1, Chelsea 0.
You will not see a better goal than that here this season. It's another giveaway from Chelsea in their own half. Playing out, good press. He wins it back and he just keeps travelling with the ball. And he thinks, you know what, no one's coming to me, I'm going to smash one. Oh, it even had a little bit of curl on it. Sanchez, oh no, let's have a look at the replay before we get too critical. The ball's moving all over the place. He does go with the wrong arm, but I don't think that's a goalkeeping error. I think that's an amazing strike.
And he's hit it with that late swerve.
Yeah.
Sanchez must have thought he was going to get there, and it just started creeping away from him. And it ends up in the top right-hand corner. He scored in the first 2 games of Graham Potter's reign, but he hadn't netted for the club since. Plenty going on in his mind, I'm sure, over large swathes of that period. But his first goal in 15 gives West Ham the lead. First that Chelsea have conceded in a season so far in which they haven't scored. It's West Ham 1, Chelsea 0.
That was another giveaway, wasn't it, in their own half? Too easy. Just on top of them straight away. As soon as you give away a couple, you're going to encourage West Ham to keep coming for you. You've got to mix it up, especially away from home.
Another try for England in the Women's World Cup Rugby. 21-7. 26-7 now as they go over again against the United States in Sunderland. Here it's 1-0 to West Ham after a great start, defending from the front, good intensity about the press, and making the most of Chelsea playing out from the back. They've caught them a couple of times, and Paquetá has banged one in from distance with what, as Danny rightly said, might be the best goal that anyone scores here all season. And it's only the middle of August.
Do you know what, ironically as well, it was the young lad who gave it, Estalo, who gave the ball away. It's just, you know, it's hard when you think you're on the bench, right in you go, poor touch, they're on top of him. Oh, he catches him, yeah, accidental.
Yeah, it is just a break in play here. Fulkrug caught by Joao Pedro, who got there first, his arm up for leverage. And just making contact with Fulkrug, who needs a little bit of treatment. That gives us the opportunity to get the news on those 2 subsequent England tries in the rugby from Alfie Reynolds.
36 minutes gone, England 28, USA 7. Their 3rd and 4th tries of the first half scored by Maud Muir from close range. An absolute stunner by Ellie Kildunn. England 28, USA 7.
Well, Chelsea have won the last 3 meetings against West Ham United, all told. They haven't won 4 in a row against the Hammers back since 2008. They're going to have to do it the hard way to win this. They didn't have a great record last season coming from behind in games, although one of the ones that they did win was against West Ham. Now, the last time that the 2 sides met was back in February. The Hammers led that one at half-time with Jared Bowen giving them the advantage before Neto equalised and Aaron Wan-Bissaka put through his own net to give Chelsea the win. It's just been one of those nights for Chelsea so far, losing Cole Palmer in the warm-up. We didn't know who was going to play whether Joao Pedro was going to play at 10 when Stevo came in to replace Palmer. At the 11th hour, it was obvious then that Joao Pedro was going to have to move into the middle, but I don't know how much of a change in the game plan that was. And then they just haven't got going, playing out from the back against the West Ham press. And Paquetá has conjured up a moment to remember.
It's a beautiful goal, wasn't it? That you can't argue with. What you can talk about is the decision making around understanding the opposition. They've lost 3-0 last week. It's a full house. They're going to come after you. They're going to press. We're playing Delap. He's a big, strong boy. Knock a couple up to him. Mix it up. Earn the right to play. Overdoing it in the first. Caught out 2 minutes before that one. Then they're caught out again. So honestly, drives me mad.
Well, Nicholas Fulkrug is back on his feet. He's going to be back in a position to carry on in a moment. And Chelsea with a phase of play attacking against 10 men in possession. Cucurella and Caicedo clipping it in. He was looking for João Pedro to make a run in behind. It's nodded down. Enzo Fernandez pokes it away, stabbing it with the toe of his right boot out to the Chelsea right-hand side. Gusto, first time ball inside the box, is delivered deep towards Neto, but he was beaten by Wan-Bissaka. Then the pair of them coming outside the penalty area, and there's a tangle of legs. But the referee has said that there's no foul, no case to answer from Wan-Bissaka. It was just a racing accident. Play continues with a Chelsea throw, taken quickly by Cucurella. The injury for Fulkrug gave Enzo Maresca the chance to get some messages across and perhaps concentrate a few minds after this inauspicious Chelsea start. Tosin playing forward through the midfield. Little out from Stevo, out to the right-hand side for Chalobah. Chalobah playing it back towards Tosin, who's in the middle of the three Chelsea defenders when they're building from the back. He's got that ability to be able to get the ball between the opposition lines. Needs it here. And Chelsea still in possession over on the far touchline, which is their right. Stevo, who have conjured up some wonderful moments in a little 20-minute cameo of a Premier League debut on Sunday against Palace. Very quick-witted, quick of feet, and for somebody who's only very slightly built, I mean, he's got some more growing left in him yet at 18, he can handle himself as well. He's a good pound-for-pound fighter. Here's Cucurella, 10 yards inside West Ham territory. And he's gone square out towards the Chelsea right-hand side. Stevo making a run forward inside the penalty area. Might break his way. All that of Delap. João Pedro has gone down inside the box, but again, the referee says play on. It will be an incident that fourth official Jared Gillett is just going to have a look at. What put João Pedro there?
Yeah, I think they're going to have a little look, as they do.
Well, we're just seeing a replay, Danny, as
to coming together between Kilman and João Pedro, and falls to the ground. I don't think there's enough to overrule. No.
João Pedro was looking at the ball, trying to find a way past Kilman, who stood his ground, and it was given a cursory inspection. But the VAR happy for play to continue, which it does, with Chelsea switching the play from the right out to the left. This near touchline for Pedro Neto. It's bobbled away towards the edge of the box. Chelsea win the seconds and lay back for Cucurella. It was well played by João Pedro to come and link up the play. Pedro Neto's got it now, working it square through the midfield. Now towards Chalobah. News, incidentally, on Cole Palmer, encouraging from a Chelsea perspective. We understand that he felt something and immediately reported it in the warm-up and isn't playing from a precautionary measure tonight. And it's nothing too serious. He just didn't want to risk it at this early stage of the season. Chelsea play the ball inside the West Ham box. They get a corner, the first of the night.
I'm not sure he's the type of lad to mention anything unless it's really restricting him. You generally don't. If you've got a little niggle or something, you don't go in and then say, "Oh, can you have a look at this?" Because the manager might say, "We'll leave, we'll make sure you're okay. Come and sit on the bench." I would imagine it's probably something a bit more serious than they're suggesting to keep him from stopping from playing. Goal.
In comes the corner. It's flicked on at the near post, and João Pedro is there to head it in. The lead has lasted barely 9 minutes. First set-piece delivery from the Chelsea right, flicked on by Cucurella at the near post. Nobody had picked up João Pedro, and it's an easy header from 4 yards out to tie it up at 1-1.
Well, there's me talking about the size of the West Ham players. Huge numbers in the box, hard to see. Paquetá, he lets Cucurella get in front of him. His job is to get in front of Cucurella and stop that ball coming into the near post. He doesn't do it. It's a great flick in by Cucurella over his head. And there's João Pedro. Keeper can't do anything. Towering header. But it's that near post job. You switch off for a second. Terrific little flip from Cucurella, but Paquetá's got to do better there.
A really well-worked Chelsea set piece, but it was one that they tried to execute on numerous occasions last weekend against Palace. It's nothing new out of the playbook, and that will be a real frustration for Graham Potter, because Cucurella must have got on the end of 4 or 5 of those, making that same near-post run last week. But Paquetá's lost him.
They'll have done it on video. They'll have done it on the training pitch, and that's why I feel for managers sometimes, because they'll have done their job. He's just switched off. He's probably still thinking about that ball nestling in the top corner. We've all done that. You switch off for a second because you're still thinking about your wonderful goal.
Well, I've never thought about a ball, one that I've put nestling in the top corner, I promise you that. In comes the delivery from the West Ham left for a free kick that Souček has tried to get on inside the penalty area. 1-1 then, with 16 minutes gone in the London derby tonight, live and exclusive for National Radio on Talksport. Todibo pulls it back, right-footed effort comes in, and then another one's deflected in. It's Fulkrug, and West Ham lead again.
He's onside, by the way. They're asking for offside, but I'm pretty sure he's on. It's terrible defending from Cucurella. What's a finish, though, from Fulkrug, is it? Yes. Started the game well, he has. He looks sharp.
Nicholas Fulkrug firing one in from a tight angle. A low left-footed shot that took a nick on its way through. But it will be Fulkrug credited with the goal.
If it's given, let's have a wait and see.
The Chelsea complaints were immediate and vociferous.
Well, Paquetá played the pass in. Oh, that is tight, isn't it? It might be off. I think he's a boot off.
So Paquetá working it down the right-hand side of the penalty area for Todibo's run. And it's just a question of whether his foot is goal side of Cucurella when the pass is played.
I think he is. I've got a bad feeling Hugh might be right.
It is really close. I mean, the lines are going to be out, and parallax error means that the view that we're looking at, because it's not square, possibly makes it look more offside than it would be.
Well, that's a great point, because I'm actually on an angle you are. Hugh's right in line with it, which is probably why he's got it right.
They could well be disallowed this. It's still being looked at. I mean, it's really, really tight. And the decision is, I think, no goal. Yet Michael Oliver, the referee, raises his left arm above his head and indicates that he is offside. So it's still 1-1 here. Half-time in the rugby, Alfie Reynolds.
28, USA 7 at half-time. England's 4 tries in the first half scored by Cabea, Bottoman, Muir and Kildun. Ellie Kildun's a brilliant length of the field move. The USA's try went to Jarrell Searcy. Bonus point for the Red Roses at half-time. England 28, USA 7.
Well, we have seen the lines being drawn. He's 5 studs offside. I mean, no more than that. But he was offside, and it is 1-1.
Well, Chelsea need a kick up the backside because they're not at the races. They've got out of jail with a set play, but other than that, they've been poor.
They're trying to make their way forward now. Delap making a barnstorming run inside the penalty area. Stavo pulling it back. Delap trying to improvise. Flicks one into the ground. It bounces up but doesn't loop over Hermansen. It wasn't on target, but it might have found its way through to the on-rushing Enzo Fernandez.
It was better, wasn't it? Good run forward from Chalobah, that. Penetrative, positive.
Hermansen clear. So we still haven't played 20 minutes here on Talksport. It is 1-1. West Ham have had a subsequent goal ruled out correctly, but for a very, very tight offside against Todibo, who supplied the ball for Nicholas Fulkrug, who put it in. Paquetá on 6 minutes, and then he was at fault 9 minutes later, not picking up Cucurella, whose flick on was headed in by João Pedro. 1-1 on Talksport, and here's Danny Murphy.
You've got a feel for Fulkrug, haven't you? What do you say he hasn't scored for 10 games? Then he smashes one in with his left foot, then it gets disallowed for 6 inches of a boot or a foot, whatever it was. Oh well, life of a striker.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got another chance here because Tosin has just conceded the first corner that West Ham have won tonight. Chelsea scored with their first corner. And can West Ham do likewise? James Ward-Prowse is going to be the player that will go over and pick up the ball from the claret carpet around the side of the pitch. He kicks it into the hoardings and gets it back. There'll be some kind of signal to his teammates as to where the ball's going to go. Spots it down on the corner quadrant now.
This is danger for Chelsea. This is danger. They have got some big boys. There's only one or two big ones for Chelsea. These lot, West Ham, good on this.
Again, making a run in towards the near post, swerved in towards the far. It was Fulkrug that attacked it along with Kilman. It's come off one of them and loops over the bar. Don't think it would have counted anyway because there was a push on Cucurella, which is on Gusto, I beg your pardon, which is going to give a free kick Chelsea's way. 1-1 then with 20 minutes gone, and as you mentioned, Chelsea yet to switch on. Will be delighted to have parity.
Yeah, they will. I think West Ham have reacted well to the defeat last week.
Wan-Bissaka. Look at the ball through his penalty area where it is cleared by Hermansen, but not particularly effectively. Straight out of play for a throw that'll be taken over on the Chelsea right. The Hammers won at Manchester United and Ipswich towards the back end of last season, but those are the only victories that they've had in their last 12 games. Hoping to avoid back-to-back defeats at the start of the Premier League season for a 9th occasion, which I think I'm right in saying would be an all-time league record if they were to lose tonight. It happened 3 years ago. It was the last time that they had no points out of a possible 6 at the beginning of a season. Started well today, though. Deserved to be ahead on the balance of play. It is 1-1. Fulkrug's got it. Fulkrug turning into trouble in the shape of Enzo Fernandez in the midfield. From him to Stavo. And then down towards Pedro Neto. Level the edge of the Hammers penalty area. Left-footed cross comes in. It bounces away from the penalty spot and evades Joao Pedro. Diouf can toe-poke the ball away. Paquetá then caught in possession. Stays down outside the penalty area. Chelsea work it in and Neto scores. And it's 2-1 Chelsea. And 5 minutes after they thought they'd gone behind, they now lead. They've only had 2 meaningful attacks. They've scored with them both. Paquetá is claiming he was fouled in the build-up to the play. That'll be looked at.
He wasn't. He gave the ball away and then he tried to pretend he got fouled to cover up the fact he'd had a bad touch. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. It's a good cross from Neto originally, and it ends up they clear the lines. Diouf, instead of going long, plays it into Paquetá, and there he just mistouches it. I think it's who's it that nicks it off him? Caicedo, and then it's a really good cross, isn't it? This is a better angle for us. Nah, it's not foul. Not a foul at all, but it's a fantastic little cross from Gusto.
Now Pedro Neto making the run off Wan-Bissaka, who's just oblivious to him.
He's got to see him earlier. He's got to see him earlier. Blind side. No, it's not a foul. It's just protecting the ball. If anything, it could be the other way. I'd be amazed if that was given. It's good from Chalobah, though. It wasn't Caicedo, it was actually Chalobah, wasn't it? High up there again. Really trying to drive his side forward and win the ball back. It's really good.
West Ham 1, Chelsea 2.
That's a problem now, trying to play this way when you're losing at home, because their shape was good at 1-0. Wing-backs were deep, stopping Chelsea's wide plays. The first really good attack they've had, Chelsea, to be honest.
Well, they crossed the Black Cats last week and they've run out of luck. It was a bad omen for them because they have been the better side here, West Ham, and yet they find themselves behind. There's a break in play here because Malo Gusto is down injured and he's receiving some treatment, but it's a kind of unwanted hat-trick in a way for Paquetá because he scored a magnificent goal, one of his very best for West Ham, and then has been culpable for both of the Chelsea goals that have followed.
Although I'll give him half responsibility because Wan-Bissaka switched off there at the back. When you play that system, Jim, and you've got wide men, you're either, as a wing back, if you've got him, you can't pass him over to one of the 3 centre halves in that position. You haven't got time. He's behind you. It's your job. You've got to stick with that run. You haven't got time to shout the third centre, the right side centre half inside the box. You're done. And he just switched off for that second, and now they're climbing a mountain.
Well, Graham Potter sitting alongside Billy Reid on the West Ham bench, and they're deep in conversation, and they must be wondering quite how this has happened. A much, much better performance tonight, and yet they find themselves 2-1 down. They've effectively conceded 5 goals in a 55, 56-minute spell, going back to last weekend.
Both so avoidable, though. You know, then there's bits of quality when any team scores, but when you break it down and you look at it and analyse it, he's not under great pressure when he takes his first touch, Paquetá. It's poor from a man of his quality. The switching off from Wan-Bissaka, the switching off from Paquetá on the corner. Little details, always small details.
Well, Reece James came out to warm up for Chelsea. I think Gusto's going to be okay. He's going to be able to continue. We have kicked off again. It's 2-1 Chelsea here at the London Stadium. You're listening to West Ham against Chelsea on Talksport with Sky Sports. And don't forget that with Now, you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly like West Ham against Chelsea live right now. Search Now Sports. James Ward-Prowse in possession for West Ham. In the centre circle to Max Kilman. And the former Wolves centre-half finds Tojibo, the £33 million summer signing after his loan spell last year. Wan-Bissaka plays it back to him. And now it's worked forward into the feet of Jarrod Bowen. Bowen flicking it off cleverly. Couldn't quite get the return ball from Füllkrug, which was down to the German. Just didn't quite get it at the right angle of the return. Chelsea winning the seconds, work it forward for Pedro Neto. It's got Delap inside him. He sent it spinning wide out towards Stevo on the right-hand touchline. Half cleared, and Joao Pedro, in taking a couple of touches on his thigh, then hit a looping effort over the bar from 35 yards.
Good counter. Really good counter that from Chelsea. West Ham trying to come back onto them to get back in the game. Lose possession, and then there's the pace of Neto in behind. A good switch over, just about intercepted. And when it fell to Pedro and it started juggling it, you think, go on then. Wasn't quite meant to be. But that's the danger now when West Ham try and push forward for this equaliser. That pace of Chelsea on the counter-attack.
Well, it's currently West Ham 1, Chelsea 2 for the latest odds. Head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get West Ham to win at 9-1, back Chelsea to win at 4-1 on, or the draw at 9-2. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Marco Correa playing it through the midfield. Neto's touch takes a little nick on its way through off Ward-Prowse for a throw that'll be taken on the Chelsea left-hand side. You know, their away form was poor last season, Chelsea, when you consider they finished 4th. They only won 2 of the last 11 away games in the league, although one of those was that crucial last-day Champions League decider at the City Ground, Nottingham. But it's something that clearly Enzo Maresca will know they need to improve. Really good at home, but not good enough away if they're going to be able to mount a title challenge this season. They lead this one 2-1 with Kilman in possession for West Ham. He's level the edge of his own penalty area, and he's worked it back inside the box for Hermansen, and then diverted through the midfield towards Paquetá. Just played the way that he was facing, back towards Souček. Souček for Hermansen again, who's conceded twice so far tonight, which takes his current record to only 1 clean sheet in 29 Premier League appearances in his career.
I'll tell you what's fascinating, just watching Chelsea when they defend. Chalobah's going in on Paquetá, and Caicedo's actually taking Bowen a lot of the time, dropping in there to take Bowen and letting Tosan take Füllkrug. Obviously something they've talked about and worked upon. It's quite clever, really, when you think of the pace of Bowen.
Tosan's there to head away there from Füllkrug, who stays down on the deck. He's got his right hand to his mouth, which he then smacks the palm of that same hand into the floor, and he's realised that he's getting no sympathy from referee Michael Oliver, and he's back on his feet and back in station as Chelsea decide there. Well, I was going to say play out from the back. They actually played a series of passes between Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, who are about 5 feet away from each other, and passed it to each other 7 or 8 times, which the Chelsea fans appreciated. It just riled their West Ham counterparts for a moment.
That's the problem when you're at home. The fans expect you to go and chase the ball down and press teams, but against good teams you've got to be careful, discipline. Don't let the fans determine your tactics. Stick with what your job is, stick with what you've done on the training pitch. Even at 2-1, they're still in this game. If they start going gung-ho, start chasing everywhere and pressing everywhere, they could get picked off.
Chelsea playing for that to happen, of course. Sanchez will now whack it away in his fluorescent orange goalkeeping garb just outside his own penalty area. The ball squirts away into a vacated part of the midfield. Enzo's there first for Chelsea, then just a little bit of pinball in and around the edge of the penalty area as the ball hit Delap and then Souček, and it went towards the dead ball line, but Hermansen scrambled out from the left hand side of his 6-yard box and stopped it going out of play for a corner. They've only had one Chelsea, they scored from it. Here's Wan-Bissaka making his way forward in a game that West Ham led and then thought they led again when one was disallowed for offside, but they trail by 2-1. Todibo inside the centre circle for Fulkrug, who again had just dropped deep almost as a false nine. When he does that, Bowen tends to spin into a wider position just to give him a passing option. Now it goes out to the left for Diouf, who starred for Senegal in their June win against England. Ball is cleared from the edge of the Chelsea penalty area, mopped up by Maximilian Kilman. Back to his goalkeeper, now played out towards Ward-Prowse, who turns in easy possession inside his own half of the field. West Ham 1, Chelsea 2 here on Talksport now.
Again there, Chalobah, he's actually going past his own midfield players to stay with Paquetá. It's a very deliberate ploy. I've not seen them do this too many times, Chelsea. They usually keep their shape a bit more defensively, but Chalobah is following Paquetá when he can, and Caicedo's just dropping in and looking after Bowen. And then, of course, Tosun tries to take care of Fulkrug. It's a very deliberate role for Caicedo. Takes a lot of concentration, that.
Paquetá drills an inch-perfect ball out towards the left-hand side of the penalty area, and then Diouf chases as it's played down the inside left channel. Chalobah stands over him once the ball has gone out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Rob Sanchez. You listen to West Ham Chelsea on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it, and we're here for you with all the Premier League action. 13 to go to half-time. West Ham 1, Chelsea 2. And what a day we got in store tomorrow on the Talksport network, kicking things off at the Etihad as Manchester City face Spurs with Reshman and the team from 11. And at the same time we'll have EFL action over on Talksport 2 as Charlton take on Leicester, and Adrian Durham will bring you the fastest goal service on the radio with all the goals as they go in. At the same time, Wrexham take on Sheffield Wednesday live on Talksport 2. Then at 5:30 Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara will bring you the game day phone in for a chance to react to the day's results as 03717 223344. As always, the number to call on the sports bar tomorrow and indeed tonight as well, with Adam Cattrall and a man that played for both of these clubs, Carlton Cole, taking your calls this evening. Steve Auer making his way inside the penalty area, gets the byline and just works it through the 6-yard box for a Chelsea tap in for 3. Enzo Fernandez turning it over the line. A night that started so well for West Ham. It is unravelling pretty quickly now.
Yeah.
West Ham 1, Chelsea 3. That is what young Stevo is all about.
Well, it was great play. Watch the touch from Delap. That's why he's in the team. That great awareness, that strength. Fired into him. A little touch round the corner. Gustavo. There's the touch from Delap. Really lovely little touch. And then he's in. Can he find his man? Nice and patient. Pings it across. I don't know who's picking up Fernandez. He's running off the midfield 3. So try and see on the replay now. But it's a great move from Chelsea. It really is. But Fernandez is playing central midfield. West Ham have got 3 of them. Someone's got to track him. Wan-Bissaka's trying to get in and catch the midfielder, but the midfielder got to do the job. It's another run off the back of someone. Basic stuff, but it's a great move from Chelsea. The ball round the corner into Delap, the touch, and then the cross. It's really, really good goal, and now West Ham are in trouble.
Well, it might actually be Wan-Bissaka that got the touch in front of Enzo Fernandez to turn it over the line. Either way, Chelsea have a 3-1 lead 10 minutes from half-time. A first half that has seen the ball in the net 5 times. 4 of them have counted. Chelsea have got 3 of them, having conceded a world-class opening goal. Second half underway in the rugby. Here's Alfie Reynolds.
It's England 33, USA 7. Abby Dow with the 5th England try, their first in the second half, scoring on the right wing. Meg Jones setting it up with her break through midfield. 45 gone, England 33, USA 7.
And Scott Twine, who's had a wonderful start to Bristol City's season, has scored again. They lead at Derby. Derby 0, Bristol City 1. That's 3 goals and 2 assists for Twine already in this 25-26 campaign. That continues live right now over on Talksport 2, and the Robins currently top of the championship table, leading at Derby 1-0. This is 3-1 to Chelsea. Doesn't begin to tell the story of the game, but they are now beginning to exert a little bit of authority, and every time they push forward, they look as though they're going to cause some really significant problems to West Ham.
Yeah, confidence is brimming. Recovered well.
Caicedo getting through the midfield, but it's passed just away from Enzo Fernandez, and Maresca, student of Pep Guardiola, channeled his inner Pep there as he just bobbed up and down on the edge of the technical area and turned away in dismay. Wan-Bissaka making his way forward for West Ham, given a real old-fashioned shoulder barge by Pedro Neto. Great defending. It's out of play for a goal kick.
Really good. Discipline from Neto. Match the run. Nice and strong. Just what you want from your wide players. Do the work. Shoulder to shoulder. Right in front of his own fans as well. They'll like that. They did like that.
Neto amongst the goal scorers on a hugely entertaining evening.
That's better from Chelsea. Not inviting that press on. Second time they've gone the long, the last 2 goal kicks. No problem. They're winning 3-1.
And it's easy to go long as well when you've got Liam Delap playing up front for you.
Well, and Pedro's a big boy, isn't he? You know, the two of them are decent size.
Chelsea just trying to play around the back of Ward-Prowse in the midfield, almost able to pull that off, not quite. It goes back for Tosin and to his right-hand side for Chalobah. And now Stevo drops deep to pick up possession. He's got Gusto high and wide of him on the right-hand touchline. Back for Moise Caicedo in the midfield, who's playing his 100th Chelsea game today. Now he started every Premier League game last season. And he's got it again now. He's actually the deepest of Chelsea's outfield players as he picks up possession 10 yards inside West Ham territory. The Hammers get it away from the edge of their own box and get it forward towards Fulkrug. But 7 minutes to go to half-time here. 3-1 Chelsea lead. Tojibo to Ward-Prowse. Now Wan-Bissaka. Flicked away past Cucurella.
Well,
now Wan-Bissaka continues his run. And he's able to motor forward into Chelsea territory. Takes the ball wide. Sends a high ball deep towards the far post. Gusto going up for it. Half cleared. Paquetá with an overhead kick from the edge of the penalty area, which was accurate but not powerful, and Sanchez can make a comfortable stop.
Good move that was. Good link up between Wan-Bissaka and Bowen down his right-hand side. We haven't seen enough of that. And he's tried to pick out with that looping cross. Fulkrug just a little bit high for him. It fell to Paquetá, who he was not really set to try the overhead kick. It was a bit of a strange choice from him, really. But they need to get Bowen more involved. He's the one who can really cause problems for his Chelsea defence if he can get on the ball a little bit more, running at people, especially near inside the box. You know how lethal he is.
Tosin's got it for Chelsea. Now he's 15 yards inside his own half. Ball played out to the right-hand side for Chalobah. Chalobah just hits a first-time ball down the inside right channel for Delap. It's well defended by Kilman, who came across and flicked it into Liam Delap. The ball goes out of play for a goal kick. Did well last season. Delap really his breakthrough season at Ipswich. It brought him a dozen Premier League goals, but the kind of striker, we often say, you can't just mark his contribution by his goal return. There's much more to his game than that.
Absolutely, yeah, I think so. Very physical, got good awareness for a big guy as well, and causes real problems for the opposition. And as we spoke about earlier, that gives you the outball, the ability to play those longer balls up, knowing he's capable of having a fight and getting himself there. Just more options for Chelsea, you know, in attacking areas. They've got really good options now, which is what you need if you want to be competitive in Europe and in the Premier League. We know that. He's got to keep learning, though. I'm sure he will, around good players, better players.
Well, Marc Cucurella has just played the ball for Chelsea, and Füllkrug just left one on him after it had been played. The referee waited to see what happened next, and Delap was then fouled upfield. So Chelsea had a free kick midway between halfway and the edge of the Hammers box. It was worked back, and the Blues in black tonight have still got possession. They're back inside the centre circle, though. It's 3-1 to Chelsea. 5 minutes to go till half-time. Probably another 5, I reckon, to be added because of injuries to Füllkrug and Gusto, and the VAR check on the Hammers goal that was ruled out. Might even be more than 5. Fernandes in possession on the left-hand side of the midfield. Now Cucurella. Caicedo into the feet of João Pedro, straight back again. Moise Caicedo to Stevo. Over on that right-hand side for Malo Gusto. Gusto working it back through the midfield. Cucurella's got it again. And that third goal has completely taken the sting out of the game as far as West Ham are concerned. They've still had the odd isolated attack. I think at 2-1, the Hammers fans would have felt that they were pretty pleased with what they'd seen, albeit that the scoreline wasn't going their way. But it might be a bit more of a lukewarm reaction at half-time now.
I think so. No, yeah, I agree. Bowen's just ended up drifting a little bit over to this right side now. I think maybe just to make sure they don't concede another one before the half. More of a 5-4-1 than a 3-5-2, which I understand. I mean, he's got to get them in, Graham Potter, and try and find a plan and work a way to try and slowly get back in this game. I think he might need to go to a back four personally to take the risk and try and get back in this game.
Well, they had lots of possession last week, West Ham, but they've only had a third of the ball tonight. The shot on target count 4-2 in Chelsea's favour. It's a 3-1 lead that they have for that. It's Bowen trying to get away from Cucurella. Graham Potter stands there, hands outstretched as Bowen is put to the ground. It's a West Ham free kick, but inside their own half. No particular hurry to take it, which will allow Bowen the opportunity to make his way forward. Another try in Sunderland for Alfie Reynolds.
England 40, USA 7 on the opening night of the Women's Rugby World Cup. Ellie Kildunn has her second of the match, collecting Harrison's neat kick in behind. Still half an hour to play. England 40, USA 7.
Thank you, Alfie. Here it's 3-1 to Chelsea. Over on Talksport 2, it's Bristol City who lead at Derby by a goal to nil. So Bristol City and Chelsea winning the respective games tonight, and the top of their respective divisions right now. I think it's fair to say there's still a long way to go. West Ham fans might feel that there's not a long way to go this evening, though. Even though we're still coming up to half-time, it feels a long way back. A tall precipice to try and scale if they're going to be able to get themselves back into this game. Trailing by 3-1 for all the positives and the endeavour early in the night. The 5-6 studs, which Todibo was offside, feels very significant now. That would have given West Ham a 2-1 lead.
Yeah.
They've got it again in the midfield with Paquetá, who's been involved in 3 of the 4 goals that we've seen. Wan-Bissaka, who's been involved in the last 2. Back for Paquetá, down towards Jarrod Bowen. Bowen right-hand side of the penalty area. Cucurella backing away.
Good defending.
And it was good defending as Bowen got it onto his left foot, and Cucurella just didn't commit himself. And as a result of that, was in a position to block the shot when it came in. West Ham then win a throw as it's judged to have come off Neto last. He didn't think it did. Todibo chips it inside the penalty area, but gave Bowen no chance, and Caicedo watches it safe for a goal kick.
It's interesting reading the programme notes, isn't it? Because Graham Potter's talking about doing the basics better. They haven't. They've done some good things. Tempo was good. Shape was all right. Got the goal, won the goal, but they end up 2-1 down because of basics. And I'm not sure really how you You can only keep drilling players for so long before you say, well, if you can't do it, someone else will have to come in the team who can.
And yet, as we spoke about at length in the build-up, they haven't really made significant changes, because they've only brought 4 outfield players over the course of the 3 outfield players over the course of the summer into the club. Another try at the rugby for Alfie Reynolds.
Whereas England 45, USA 7, England's 7th try scored by Amy Cockayne. A nice move at the front of the line out to send her over in the corner. We've played 53 minutes, England 45, USA 7.
We're into stoppage time, and there are 6 additional minutes to be played. It's 3-1 to Chelsea. And the Hammers work it forward down towards Wan-Bissaka, who will not have to break his stride to bring the ball under control, but it just ricocheted off him. A heavy touch. Cucurella got it clear. West Ham then win it back immediately. Wan-Bissaka battling with Caicedo has won a free kick just on the West Ham United right. And a chance to get it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Well, if they can halve the deficit here and get into half-time 3-2 down, they will give themselves a decent chance. The difference between 3-1 and 3-2 at half-time will feel immense.
Oh, that would change the dynamic hugely in the dressing room. And you wouldn't ask for anyone better than Ward-Prowse to be on the ball for a free kick, would you?
Well, Juve's come across to talk to him, as if to make out that he might swing it in left-footed.
No.
It won't happen.
Well, it might, but it shouldn't, because he's one of the best free kick takers the Premier League's ever seen.
Juve runs over it. Nobody bought that. Ward-Prowse in towards the far post.
Good defender.
And it's easily headed away by João Pedro. And then Paquetá has lost that, and Neto might be able to bring it away. Paquetá tried to stop him, he couldn't. Stevo will make a run down the right-hand side, and he will be played in, but the covering from Diouf is excellent, because he's covered a huge amount of ground to be able to get back there that quickly.
Poor ball from Neto, though, wasn't it, to Stevo? Just played it outside of him rather than inside into his path.
And made him second favourite where he really didn't need to. Now it's worked forward again towards Fulkrug, who renews his aerial battle with Tosin and Cucurella. He's ended up being sandwiched between the pair of them and stays down. And first half stoppage time is going to be elongated because the big German is down again. I think it's the 3rd time in the first half.
He's got to toughen up a bit, the lad. Thought he was a big old lump. He's been down 3 times. Oh, here he goes. Yeah, that's better.
Back on his feet without the need for treatment. More significantly, I think, without the need to go off the field for 30 seconds.
Got caught by Tosin, didn't he?
Yep, saw one, but he's able to continue. Bowen takes the throw. It had been put out so that he could receive treatment, Fulkrug, and so Bowen took the throw straight back to Cucurella. 2.5 of the 6 additional have been played at the end of the first half, with Chelsea leading 3-1 in the London derby here on Talksport. Delap trying to kill a ball that wasn't a great one in towards him, and he almost took the pace off it sufficiently for Stevo to be able to get on to the end of it before any of the West Ham players. Not quite. And the Hammers win it back and work it across the back line towards Kilman. So that's the change that you'd make. You go with a 4 now?
Yeah, because I think you want to commit another forward player on the, Callum Wilson maybe up there. Play Bowen wide, and whoever you want to play wide on the other side, maybe push Diouf up and play him and have a back 4.
Ball played in here, but an overhead kick from Bowen was a poor one, and it just drops through harmlessly to Sanchez.
Ultimately, if you play a back 5, they're playing with... West Ham have got a back 5, and it's fine. It's for a reason. They're 5 defensive players. So you go to a back 4 and you bring someone on who's more creative, more chance of scoring a goal, because you've got to take that risk. You've got to.
Neto coming in off the left flank. I told you about watching him every step of the way. Cucurella, Caicedo, Stevo. Out to the Chelsea right-hand side. Just a yard in from that right-hand touchline. Stevo's got it again and just plays it back easily for Chalobah. Chelsea running the clock down, but doing so in West Ham territory, keeping them honest. Still one perceptive ball away from a match-winning lead at the break.
Jim, that's another reason as well, because you can't press the same. Because you're in a line of 5 and the wing-backs are doing the job, you lose the ability to press properly because of the fact you're a man down.
Now, Ward-Prowse has caught Caicedo after the ball had gone. The referee Just had a word in passing with Ward-Prowse, nothing more than that.
Do you know why I'm surprised? I might be wrong here, you'll correct me, I'm sure. I don't think there's been a yellow, has there?
No, there hasn't, no.
A London derby, you're 3-1 down at home and there hasn't been a yellow.
And the implication in the way that you frame that is that West Ham should have been more physical and asked some more pertinent questions in that area of the game.
When you start losing, yeah, you have to change the dynamic. You have to get after people. You have to unsettle them. You're not having it all your own way. I think, like you said, since Chelsea have got the third goal, it's become a little bit easy. They've lost their puff, haven't they? That little bit of zip that West Ham had. And Chelsea started getting comfortable. That's where you need your leaders to say, right, come on. And somebody's got to set the tone and go in like Ward-Prowse did there and leave one on someone. But leave it on him properly, you know. Let them know. Not going to have it all your own way.
Now, Ward-Prowse has got a little bit of history with Chelsea. He's been sent off against them twice in the last 7 matches that he's played against them. Ball over the top here is a good one. It's brought down on the edge of the penalty area by Gusto, who'd covered a lot of ground to find himself as the most advanced of the Chelsea outfield players. Ball is put out of play for a corner. There will still be time to take it at the end of this first half. Remember, Chelsea scored with their first corner of the night. They score again. I'm sure they will have won before we get to half-time. They lead 3-1. Cucurella stands 10 yards from the corner flag, as he did for the last corner, when he made his way in, watched by Paquetá, but still was able to flick the ball on for João Pedro. Are they going to try and work that same corner again? It's from the other side, though, this time from the Chelsea left. There goes Cucurella. Paquetá following every step of the way. Enzo Fernandez with the delivery. He's looking for the near post flick. Paquetá's defended that one properly. That's the last touch of the first half, and this is the reaction from the West Ham supporters. And there were plenty of boos there in a half that saw plenty of positives in the opening 20-25 minutes, not least a wonder goal from Paquetá. They thought they got themselves 2-1 up after João Pedro equaliser. Fulkrug's goal disallowed for an offside, a close one against Tojibo. Neto then made it 2-1 to Chelsea moments later, and a third goal from Enzo Fernandez seems to have knocked the stuffing out of West Ham. Beaten 3 last week, and they've shipped another 3 before half-time today. It's West Ham 1, Chelsea 3.
Well, boos ring out at half-time at the London Stadium in West Ham's opening Premier League home game of the season. And at 33 minutes, a number of West Ham fans had already seen enough. Out their seats, up the stairs, and out the London Stadium, off home. They'd seen enough. By no means a majority, of course, but some clearly growing tired and frustrated at what they are seeing from Graham Potter's side. And those boos at half-time would certainly have been louder, but I reckon about 30% of the stadium had already left their seats, either to leave or to go onto the concourse and get themselves a beer, because what they're seeing from their team hasn't been enough. For all their determination in the opening exchanges and a brilliant opener, Chelsea have scored all too freely. Danny Murphy, they needed something, didn't they, after that defeat against Sunderland? And the opening, 15, 20 minutes, you thought you had it. This was the West Ham team that they've been longing for.
Tempo was good. Tenacity was there. There was a real intent. They closed Chelsea down. Chelsea fell into the trap. They nicked the ball off them a couple of times. They end up scoring a wonder goal. The crowd's bouncing. And then you get done on a set play that we've seen them do it, already. They'll have seen the videos. They'll have done it on the training pitch. Paquetá switches off, gets done, 1-1. All of a sudden, okay, no drama, you're back in it. And then the second goal, people running off the back of people.
Pedro Neto sneaking in at the back post around Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Lucas Paquetá
gave the ball away.
Really should have done better in that circumstance as well.
I think so. So I call that the basics, protecting the ball in your own third when you've got time.
Why are they playing it out?
Well, you've got to play sometimes, and I don't think so. Juve could have gone long.
Yeah,
he's played a decent little ball into Paquetá, who's actually not got anyone on him when he receives it. It's a bad touch, and Chalobah's in on him. But if Paquetá normally would protect that ball and use his strength and get the free kick maybe, but he loses it. Anyway, first mistake compounded by the second mistake, which is Wan-Bissaka being done off the back of his shoulder, which is unlike him, to be fair. And then all of a sudden you're 2-1 down. And by the way, let's not forget to add, that just before they concede the second, 6 inches from going 2-1 up yourself and having the crowd all with you again.
Yeah,
this is the cruelness of football.
The crowd was up. The stadium was exactly the fever pitch they wanted it to be when Nicholas Füllkrug thought he'd put West Ham 2-1 up. It wasn't to be, but that doesn't mean you switch off defensively. They were in the game at that stage, clearly in the battle, on the front foot, with the crowd and the wind in their sails, and yet they've let all of that momentum slip. That you know, you mentioned the basics under Graham Potter in his comments in the programme, but really they let the momentum go in this game. They gave the initiative to Chelsea. That's the big disappointment.
Yeah, I think there's always mistakes if you concede goals, you'll generally find a mistake somewhere that's helped. So you can be overcritical, but I think those first 2 goals in particular are big mistakes. They're simple things. They're not little small ones that you think, okay, they are big, they are easy things to correct. Third goal's a decent goal. It's a good move.
The youngster, Willian Esteval, he showed us exactly why Chelsea have invested and waited for him. We knew it from Palmeiras at the Club World Cup, the talent that he had. He put on the afterburners, he got to the byline, he found Enzo Fernandez for the tap, and again, no one marking the runner into the box. He taps it in from, 2 yards out. Again, they can defend so much better than that, West Ham.
They can, but if you look at it from a more positive perspective from Chelsea, you know, the ball was rattled into the lat, wasn't it? It was a lovely touch. And the run was perfect off the back of him. So sometimes you get caught out on a bit of really good play. But then when the ball comes in the box, someone, and I haven't seen it back enough, but somebody has let Fernandez go. So that's somebody's man. So is that difficult to fix? Is that something you need a £100 million player to solve? No, you need players who are focused on their job. So all of a sudden now they've given themselves, they're climbing Everest against this Chelsea side. And the problem West Ham have got, if they really push and go for it, this could be 5. And then we are in trouble. Well, not we, but this place is going to get chaotic.
Exactly. They'll certainly want to avoid that. And by the way, if you're just joining us, Chelsea missing Cole Palmer this evening. He pulled out in the warm-up. He felt a little bit of discomfort. Reportedly, he decided not to play as it was a precaution. Does point to the idea Chelsea maybe slightly undercooked from a physical standpoint so far in this campaign, and we will see if Palmer does return for another London derby against Fulham next Saturday lunchtime, live and exclusive here on Talksport in the Premier League. Chelsea at the moment cruising, and certainly West Ham need a response at the start of this second half. Let's get the half-time odds on Talksport with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. You build it, we give you a free bet for the first 3 weeks of the Premier League. That's Ladisfaction. 18+ gambleaware.org.
So it's currently West Ham 1, Chelsea 3. For the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get West Ham at 33-1 to come back and win this game. The draw is 12-1. Chelsea 1-20 on to win the match. In terms of the next goal scorer market, Jared Bowen is at 8-1. Liam Delap for Chelsea at 13-2. Esteval looked very lively. He's 10-1. And a special for you as well, a player to be sent off. That was 3-1. That is now 7-2. Those are latest odds with Ladbrokes. It's 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. You build it, we give you a free bet for the first 3 weeks of the Premier League. That's Ladisfaction. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Well, over on Talksport 2, there is tonight exclusive commentary from the Championship. Derby County hosting Bristol City. Here's how the only goal of the game so far sounded.
Space for Sykes to play it forward, and the shot is turned in by Twine. Placed to perfection, and with their first effort on target, Bristol City have the lead. Heading top of the Championship, Derby 0, Bristol City 1.
And that's what the score remains at half-time. Scott Twine, by the way, who got the goal, 3 goals and 3 assists in his 4 games in League and Cup so far this season, enjoying a great start to the campaign. Let's head over to the Stadium of Light next. The Women's Rugby World Cup beginning this evening. England in great form against the United States. Alfie Reynolds.
Yeah, it's England 62, the USA 7 with 66 minutes played. One-way traffic, a party for England on the opening night of this Rugby World Cup so far. Jess Breach has crossed for 2 tries, Atkins-Davies with 1 as well in the last few moments. And also, Emily Scarrett is on for England, appearing in her 5th World Cup, a record for an England player, male or female. But England with the bonus point, with the victory, all but secured with 66 gone. It's England 62, USA 7.
Elsewhere tonight in Rugby League at the break, St Helens 8, Hull FC 6. It's Leeds 12, Salford 6 at half-time. And in the Scottish Championship football, Wraith 1, Dunfermline 0. That is also half-time. In fact, we're halfway through the first of 3 incredible games exclusively live on Talksport this weekend. We've got Manchester City against Spurs at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. We'll have Liverpool's trip to Newcastle at 8 p.m. on Monday night as well. But right now, despite West Ham showing plenty of fighting courage in this London derby, Chelsea have shown more quality and put themselves well on the way to their first win of the season. At the break, it is West Ham 1, Chelsea 3.
Kick off live on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now, like West Ham versus Chelsea live today. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, screen via internet, terms apply.
Summer fashion announcement. Stripes are in, darling. Oh, and also florals. Groundbreaking, we know. Pastels and block colors, too. Basically, you choose. From breathable floral duvet sets to modular wardrobes and stripy block-out blinds, IKEA has hundreds of new summer products to let summer in. Fabulous. Visit IKEA online or in store. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then... substitution. His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there! His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result! Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in! Find out more at villagehotels.com.
Football is back and it's game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals! Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
The road stretches before you, but there's trouble ahead. Stationary cars. You're faced with the McDonald's side mission. Do you, A, join the ever-growing queue, or B, take the next exit and treat yourself to a glorious Mackey's?
Detouring to McDonald's.
Start your side mission today.
Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in as little as 20 minutes. You've finally found that perfect parking spot and you're ready to start work. But wait, you need a replacement part that's not in your van. Don't sweat it and don't move the van. Get moving on your job and we'll sprint over with exactly what you need before you can say, where's my spirit level? Screwfix Sprint delivers in as little as 20 minutes. Only $4.99 and only on the app. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
Kick off live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
The football animal is alive. Kick-off live on Talksport.
It's a London derby with plenty on it already, but who's going to be able to make capital? Oh, what a stunning goal! A magnificent strike from Lucas Paquetá. In comes the corner, it's flicked onto the near post, and João Pedro is there to head it in. The lead has lasted barely 9 minutes. Chelsea work it in, and Neto scores. And it's 2-1 Chelsea. Estevao making his way inside the penalty area, gets the byline, and just works it through the 6-yard box for a Chelsea tap-in for 3. Enzo Fernandez turning it over the line.
Really, really good goal, and now West Ham are in trouble.
Well, after their 3-0 defeat at Sunderland last weekend, the London Stadium was desperate for a mammoth response tonight from their home team as the world champions Chelsea came to town. So far, Graham Potter's side have shown more fire, but they find themselves behind, having taken the lead through Paqueta's stunning opener with goals from Pedro, Neto and Enzo that mean at the break it's West Ham 1, Chelsea 3. It has already been a roller coaster of an evening. Will there be more twists and turns when the second half gets underway shortly live here on Talksport? Danny Murphy, former England midfielder, alongside me. How do West Ham respond now?
Well, I mean, personally, I think he should go to a back four and put Callum Wilson on with Fulkrug. Wilson is coming on. I can just see him coming out there. Go to a 4, put them 2 up, 2 wide men, and really have a go at it and try and get back in.
Looks like there's going to be 2 substitutions at the break as well for Graham Potter, ringing the changes. Maybe they should have been made earlier, we'll see. The one thing he'll want to avoid is conceding another couple of goals. Things could turn very, very nasty here if that happens.
Got to take the risk to get back in. He can't let his team sit off and let Chelsea dominate possession like they did in the second half of that first half, because the fans will go ballistic and you don't get back in the game that way on a counter-attack. He's going for it. He's going to change the system. I'd be amazed if the system doesn't change. And they're going to take that risk of conceding another couple of goals, that's for sure.
Well, hopefully a new signing in the shape of Callum Wilson and one of their own can get this Hammers crowd going here at the London Stadium. It was deathly quiet at times during that opening period. 2 changes to be made by Graham Potter. I'll leave you with the details from your match commentator Jim Proudfoot, who's alongside former Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy.
Well, Nicholas Fulkrug is the first player to come off Hugh, and he's been replaced here by Callum Wilson, who comes on for his home debut. Player who's got an outstanding record against West Ham. And is he going to be able to transfer that kind of goal-scoring form? The other change sees Freddie Potts come on for his Premier League debut. The son of West Ham legend Stevie Potts. Potts, who has played first-team football before, but his last West Ham appearance was back in March 2023 in the Conference League, so 29 months ago. And he comes on. Tojibo is the player that has come off. So, as you predicted, they've gone to a back 4. Potts coming on into midfield, and they're having to go for it.
I'm surprised Fulkrug's come off. I'm not surprised in the change of system, but unless Fulkrug's got an injury, that's a strange one. He scored the goal, which got disallowed. He put himself about. I think he looked all right. If anything, he needed some help.
What would you have done, Dan?
Well, I'd have played him and Wilson and put Bowen down the left, Paquetá Bowen on the right, Paquetá down the left. Had the 2 big lads up top, gone a bit more direct, and played a 2 in the middle. He's still got the 3. It's now a 4-3-3 rather than a 5-3-2, if you like, or a 5-4-1 at times. But the back 4 will allow them to get more men forward. It'd be interesting to see what role Potts plays.
Well, initially he's the deepest of the 3 in midfield in the 4-3-3. He's got it here. He's in strongly, flicks the ball away. He is a player because of his family history and because he's a product of the academy who will be cut if he needs any tonight. A fair bit of slack.
Yeah.
Some of the others might not be. Here's Diouf trying to find a way through. He can't get past Chalobah. Chelsea, unsurprisingly, unchanged after that first half. Diouf has gone down injured, and that will give us the opportunity to run through the teams for you. So Hermansen in goal for West Ham. A back four of Wan-Bissaka, Kilman, Aguerd and Diouf. In midfield, it's Ward-Prowse, Potts and Souček. And a front three of Bowen, Wilson and Paquetá. Chelsea, Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Tosin and Cucurella. Fernandes and Caicedo. Estevao, João Pedro and Neto, and Delap up top. Cole Palmer absent. He pulled up at the back end of the warm-up and is sat still looking pretty disconsolate on the bench. Estevao started in his place, having initially been named amongst the substitutes. So 2 minutes into the second half here on Talksport. It's West Ham 1, Chelsea 3, and you and I watching the game together with Danny Murphy.
Well, Thomas Tuchel will be disappointed he can't watch Cole Palmer, but he'll be delighted with the performance of Chalobah. He's been outstanding. Really has.
Chalobah, a player who, remember, at the beginning of last season was deemed surplus to requirements and found himself loaned to Crystal Palace. But after a good dozen appearances for the Eagles, and then came back and more than played his part as Chelsea had success in both May and July. Ball out of play for a throw that Cucurella will take. He's a player that's been able to completely rewrite his own personal Chelsea history. And it'll take a throw which will be taken over on that far touchline by Chelsea. Kicking from left to right. They're in all black tonight in their third kit. And the Hammers in the traditional claret and blue shirts and white shorts. In possession with Mes Hermansen, who's making his home debut tonight, as is this man, Hadji Malik Diouf. Back from the £19 million left wing back. Finding Aguerd. Then to Potts, to Kilman inside his own penalty area. Work through the penalty area once more for Hermansen, and they're just trying to invite a Chelsea press, which Delap very half-heartedly is thinking about applying, but then he backs away. It's up to West Ham to try and do something constructive, and Chelsea aren't going to get sucked into anything here. Played forward into the feet of Potts. Now down to Diouf. Long left-footed ball over the top. Wilson's chasing after that. It's come off the back of his head as he raced forward. It didn't quite drop Paquetá's way. Paquetá off the left now in this 4-3-3. And Delap's done well, with his back to the direction of goal, to poke a loose ball through the midfield for Enzo Fernandez, and Cucurella will come forward to his left. Back for Enzo again, the scorer of the most recent and third Chelsea goal. And got 9 last season in all competitions. And Estevao. Damala Gusto. He's given a shove in the back by Diouf to track him back towards halfway. Now the ball's back for Sanchez. West Ham do apply the press with a little bit more intent. They have to. Chelsea have just played through it easily. Now Delap will make his way through the middle. The ball has gone out towards the left-hand side. Pedro Neto pulling it back, and it should have been fought. He found Enzo Fernandez on the penalty spot. If anything, he just had to stretch a little to get there, Enzo Fernandez, and he's fired it over the bar. That should have been good night.
Great play from João Pedro. Little spin, played through the lines. There's the width from Neto. And he picks out Fernandez, coming in again. He's run off the back of Ward-Prowse this time. It's not a difficult finish. Tries to guide it in the far corner, just doesn't get his chest over it. The man of his technical ability will be fuming.
They have it again with João Pedro inside the West Ham penalty area. Comes back to the bottom left-hand corner of the box and finds Cucurella. Estevao thought about making a run, and instead the ball was worked the other way very briskly, and Neto didn't read it from Caicedo's pass, from Tosin's pass, I beg your pardon. It's gone out for a throw in the right-back position that Wan-Bissaka will come across to take. And there are a few West Ham supporters applauding him as he goes over there, but there's also a sort of an undercurrent of murmur of frustration. The Hammers fans frustrated that there isn't more urgency about their team as they look to try and get themselves back into this. Jared Bowen over on the right-hand touchline, still inside his own half, wins a throw. And here's a throw that he's going to leave for Wan-Bissaka. Would be a 4th consecutive Chelsea win over West Ham. Haven't managed that in this derby since 2008. It would be a a significant night for them. From that point of view, always like to try a fresh chapter in any history against one of your London rivals. They've got a whole spate of London derbies at the beginning of this season, the Blues. They played Palace last week. They got Fulham and then Brentford away to come in weeks 3 and 4 in the Premier League. After that, Manchester United away, which will be some game. Stevo in the midfield, pokes it just back to Gusto, who had to go up through the gears quickly. All he could do was stop Paquetá getting on it, and he's put it straight out of play for a throw. 7 gone second half. It's West Ham 1, Chelsea 3, and Chelsea able to contain the Hammers with ease at the moment, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, there's not been the reaction West Ham fans would probably like, which is more pressure, more final third entries, but they've got to ease their way back into this and find their rhythm, get some passes in, gain some confidence, try and work out how they can penetrate this Chelsea defence. And it might take a little bit longer, but they are going to concede chances the longer it goes, because they've got to press more, and we just saw that with the Fernandes chance. And that's the concern for this West Ham side, the way they've... And I agree with Graham Potter changing it, by the way. He had to.
Cucurella, good run on the overlap, inside the penalty area, wins the corner. And Kilman just stood his ground, and the ball goes out of play for Chelsea's third corner of the night. You're listening to West Ham Chelsea on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like West Ham against Chelsea, live right now. Just search Now Sports. Fernandes will come across to take this corner, and Cucurella has taken up that same position. He's on that little 10-yard marker on the dead ball line, away from Enzo. And Enzo will spot the ball down and take a few steps back. It's usually the cue for Cucurella to turn and make his way in towards the near post. He does now. Paquetá going with him. Tosin is in there trying to get across the pair of them at the near post. Fired in that little bit deeper and spilt by the goalkeeper, to be put in by Caicedo for 4. Horrible moment for Hermansen. Not his first at the start of his West Ham United career. The ball right through his hands, and Caicedo was there to tap it in off the underside of the bar.
He's asking for a foul, but I don't know if it is. He's angry with himself, so maybe he's just angry actually at the mistake. Start seeing some West Ham fans starting to disappear now. Last thing you need as a manager, you're 3-1 down, you've changed the tactics, you're looking for a reaction, and your keeper makes a mistake. Let's have a look. Swung in, isn't it? In swinger. It's actually not a... He just punches it straight to Caicedo's feet. He gets good hands on it. He's got to get some... Do you know what he's done? Flat hands. He's used flat hands. He's got a punch. I don't know what he's thinking. Maybe he's going too I think he's thinking about catching it and then decides against it last minute. It's a poor error. Really poor error. Game over.
Well, there is a collision in there, and he might have felt that he was fouled.
Minimal, though,
but it was Kilman that he clattered into. Yeah. It wasn't a Chelsea player. So there was no case for any Chelsea player to answer. And Chelsea have a 4-1 lead 10 minutes into the second half.
That must be tough for him, because he's trying to make his way in a new team. I really do think he was caught in two minds there, because no keeper comes to palm it away. I think he's thinking, I can get this, and then when he has the collision you just talk about with his own man, he then thinks, I've got to push it, and he doesn't push it far enough, straight to Caicedo. Reacted really well, didn't he, Caicedo? It was a clever little finish. He's been good tonight as well.
100th game for Chelsea. That's goal number 4 within that century of appearances. We'll be back in Sunderland for the full time in the rugby very shortly. West Ham bringing it forward here. Caicedo's there to mop up with the aid of Tosin, and Cucurella gets it further clear. A comfortable win for England at the beginning of their Women's Rugby World Cup campaign. Alfie Reynolds has got the details.
Finished England 69, USA 7. England's pursuit of a World Cup victory on home soil is up and running, as dominant as expected on the opening night. 11 tries scored in front of a record crowd for a Women's Rugby World Cup game, over 42,000. The full-time score, England 69, USA 7.
Delap sends it wide for Neto. Chelsea looking for goal number 5 here. Neto trying to get the better of Kilman. He did get the ball in, but he couldn't find Joao Pedro. Souček was there to be able to poke it away. Cucurella back for Enzo Fernandez, and now to Tosin. To Cucurella again over on the left-hand side. Listen, this is a night that might have been different. West Ham started really well the opening 25 minutes, but they're imploding. Stevo wins a corner. Diouf forced to come across and toe poked that ball away from him.
Did well. The problem West Ham have got really is the two centre-halves aren't the most athletic, and they're dealing with some really good players, and the full-backs trying to open, but the gaps they're opening up all over the place. Probably why Graham Potter tends to play with the 5. The one thing Graham Potter will be seeing now, and he's obviously in a really difficult position, but he's going to see which players stand up and be counted. He's going to see who he can rely on and who can hold their head up and fight and run around and do the things you expect your players to do. Even at 4-1, do your jobs, make sure you keep working hard, keep trying to do the right things and minimise the damage.
Chelsea's 4th corner. It's a Neto in swinger. Goalkeeper comes up, got stuck in traffic, nodded down past him and put in by Chalobah. It's 5-1. 2 in 4 minutes. And West Ham have still got half an hour of this to endure. A night that started with a world-class goal and plenty of positives. But before the hour mark, it has transformed into a complete Hammer horror show. West Ham 1, Chelsea 5, and it could get a lot worse yet.
Is that 3 set plays, is it? I think. I mean, I'll refer to it again because we talked about it. It's basics, isn't it? Can you win your headers? Can you win your battles? Another in-swinger. First header's won, not the second, and I don't know who's picking up Chalobah. He deserves a goal, he's been outstanding. Keeper doesn't deal with it very well, Delap's putting him off. It's not like West Ham don't have the physicality to cope.
And now there's an incident where a young West Ham fan has run onto the pitch, and he was, I would imagine, 9 or 10. Adult West Ham fans took exception at the steward's attempts to stop him. So the young lad managed to get back into the crowd, and 1 or 2, in fact I think it is only 1 West Ham supporter is now being led away, being physically restrained, as he didn't like the way, as I say, that the West Ham stewards were trying to apprehend the youngster. Well, 45 minutes ago, West Ham led this 1-0. We've now played an hour and they're 5-1 down.
I mean, this could, it has backfired, the change in system, but he had to try it. They haven't been able to adapt. This could get really, really bad.
You mean it's not already?
I'm talking 6 or 7.
Absolutely. Potts playing the ball forward. Paquetá out of the right-hand side for Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 5, 6, 7 doesn't mean it's still bad. You're right, actually. It's awful.
Paquetá trying a little 1-2. Callum Wilson trying to get himself into a shooting position. Can't. Tosin dealt with the threat, then gets it away. Helped further clear by Enzo. Out to the left-hand side for Pedro Neto. And he's making his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Neto dropping his shoulder. He's got away from Potts. He stands it up towards the far post. Again, heads it away. And a right-footed volley from Enzo. Skies over the bar.
Starting to make some substitutions now.
And the first one is going to be Delap off. And Andre Santos is going to come on to replace him. Worth pointing out who's left on the West Ham bench, I think. They brought Wilson and Potts on at half-time. They can still call upon forwards Irving and Marshall. They've got Scarles, a left-back, Mavropanos, Walker-Peters defenders, and Rodriguez, a defensive-minded midfielder as well. But Liam Delap comes off here. It's been a night where he hasn't scored, but another example of his ability to lead the line.
He's done all right. I think he'd be disappointed he's been brought off at 5-1 and he hasn't scored. He has contributed. He's been a focal point, that great touch, I think, for the third goal. He's been a handful there on the goalkeeper to create that next goal for the fifth goal, on the set play. Sure, I think it was his mum and dad in the crowd there, be very proud of him. But he will be disappointed because he'll sense chances here in the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Well, play stops again because the Hammers have a man down injured. Paquetá is down. He got caught in the midfield as West Ham did win a corner, pushing forward down the left. Yeah, they get through some miles, the Delap family, because Liam's brother Finn is playing as well for Burton Albion.
Ah, right, okay.
I think Rory takes it in turns to go and watch him play. Obviously, this weekend he's going to see both of his lads play. But yeah, they know the M1 and the M6 pretty well. Not that long ago that Chelsea beat West Ham 5-0, the back end of the 23-24 season, but it's a long time since Chelsea had an away win as big as this in this fixture.
Someone's just been booked from the West Ham bench. Not sure who that is in the cap, coming back towards the dugout. Yellow card. I think that's the first one of the game, isn't it?
It is indeed. It might have been the goalkeeping coach Kasper Ankergren. I'm not sure. We'll confirm that for you.
I think he thinks there was a foul on the keeper on the fifth one from Delap. I just think he stayed strong. I just think he was too strong.
Well, there was jockeying for position between those two players, but I don't think it had any material effect because, as we mentioned, Hermansen came out and collided with Kilman. That's what made him drop it. Delap nowhere near him at that stage. In comes the corner, swung in towards the far post by Ward-Prowse, and it's well defended. The header from Souček was from a very tight angle. It's deflected, goes out of play for another West Ham corner. They'll take this one on the right. It's West Ham 1, Chelsea 5, with 64 gone here on Talksport. Paquetá still off the field, having received treatment. Hammers temporarily down to 10. Swing another corner in that's easily headed away.
I mean, there's a lot of West Ham supporters who've left, but I'm surprised how many have stayed. I mean that in a positive sense.
They try and get themselves almost back into the game, you know what I mean. Ball stood up towards the far post. Wilson heads it wide. And he's off balance and he sends a header way wide. They have only ever scored 5 goals away to West Ham once. Chelsea, they didn't win that day. It was game back in the 1960s.
Go on then, what was the score?
5-5. An absolute belter. Ball inside the 6-yard box, knocked through towards the edge of the box for Caicedo.
Was it there, Jim?
Probably. I think Moose was. I think it's over on the ball over on the left-hand side. We played 20 minutes of the second half. We're a yard in from the left-hand touchline. Mark Cucurella has got possession. He goes back for Tosin. Tosin out towards Cucurella. Cucurella's ball forward. Fernandez plays it back to him, and then Cucurella a turn in possession. Play it back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Back for Sanchez. Sanchez gets it away. Last season, Chelsea lost the first game, then their first away game. They went to Molineux and scored 6. They'll be hopeful that they can do something very similar here tonight. Already got 5 of them, with a quarter of the game still lying ahead of us here on Talksport. But it's just a question of where West Ham go from here. 3-0 defeat at Sunderland, 5-1 down at home to Chelsea. They are a club that have struggled to start seasons quickly over the last few years. That's not a problem that's new to Graham Potter's West Ham. It happened when they even had successful seasons under the likes of David Moyes. They would often get off to a slow start. It was Bruno, incidentally, that was booked, Graham Potter's trusted coach that he had with him at Brighton. He was the member of the West Ham staff that was talking out of turn. They're on the front foot again with Bowen, trying to get it through the 6-yard box, cleared, and then it ricocheted through to the goalkeeper, but the flag was up anyway, off Souček. And play continues. Kyle Walker-Peters is going to be coming on in a moment for West Ham, which it's an invidious task to be introduced to a game where you're already 5-1 down and you're a defender.
Nothing worse. Coming on as a player when the game's done and you're expected to do so, it's really difficult. You have to just go out there and just try and make an impact. Put yourself around, get on the ball, make some tackles. I like Walker-Peters. I think he's a decent player. He could be a good addition for West Ham.
Andre Santos. Stevo. Gusto's ball in. Took a deflection. Just hit Freddie Potts on the way through. Potts can clear into Wilson. Now, Wilson had a brilliant record against the Hammers. He got 12 in 16 against them in his career, including a memorable hat-trick here for Bournemouth early one season. He's worked it wide for Jared Bowen. Bowen towards the edge of the penalty area at the other end of the field. Might get a second bite of the cherry, but Cucurella denies him that. And off balance, he can slash the ball away for a throw that West Ham, to their credit, are in a hurry to take. Trailing by 4 at the midway point of the second half. Bowen's got it again. Walker-Peters will be coming on. Chelsea have got a double change in mind.
Triple.
Souček gets to the byline. He's pulled the ball back, but it's flicked away by Andre Santos. Chip back in again. Bowen was waiting. Another good defensive header. And then a stunning save from Sanchez, although
offside.
The flag was up anyway.
Souček was at such an offside position. I don't know what the linesman was thinking. He'd come back off the pitch to get the ball, and the linesman kept his flag down. Brilliant save from Sanchez, though, wasn't it?
So here are the changes. James for Gusto. Cucurella is coming off, and Uriel Harto is going to come on to replace him. And we're also going to see Fofana for Chalobah. So Enzo Maresca with the luxury of getting minutes into players' legs in a meaningful situation, with the destiny of the points already assured. And it's a debut for the Eredivisie Talent of the Year. Uriel Harto, the Dutch international, who signed in a £37 million move from Ajax. He made his debut for the Amsterdammers when he was only 16. And he comes on, he's 19 now, to replace Cucurella. It's a straight swap at left back. As I say, a player, when you're a fullback and you've been signed for 37 million, it just shows what your reputation is.
He can play centre-half as well, can't he, I think? Obviously, being able to do both jobs is a good thing. Nice to see Fofana back. He's spent so much of his time at Chelsea injured. Talented lad. But they've gone back to a 5.
Yeah, the West Ham change has seen Walker-Peters come on, and he's replaced Souček. So they have gone...
Well, maybe not. He seemed to be putting 5 fingers up as he ran on, didn't he?
Well, I think they will, Dan, because I think Walker-Peters will play at right wing back, and Wan-Bissaka will be on the right-sided centre half. And the Walker-Peters at the moment is near the edge of the Chelsea penalty area as he takes a throw quickly into the feet of Bowen. Got 20 minutes to go here, and it's West Ham United 1, Chelsea 5. A penny for David Sullivan's thoughts. I suppose the only silver lining behind this filthy black cloud that West Ham are suffering with at the beginning of this season is to bring it forward here. Wilson on the turn, trying to get a shot in, rides a couple of challenges, forces it wide for Walker-Peters, whose cross is then diverted 2 yards from goal, and Caicedo knocks it away.
Wilson should have hit it. He did so well to evade the first tackle and make the space, and then bang, hit it. When he took the extra touch, I mean, it's not going to make a big difference on the game, but it would have given him a boost, obviously, to get his first goal.
They do have a corner here as the ball is put out of play by Caicedo. Just going back to that thought about the one silver lining for West Ham. If you're going to have a performance like this, have it when the transfer window's still open. Don't have it your first game in September when there's nothing you can do.
Absolutely.
This at least might concentrate some minds.
Yes, couldn't agree more.
Another corner to West Ham, taken on the right, in towards the near post. And it comes to Stevo towards the edge of the penalty area. It's cleared. It bounces outside the penalty area where West Ham United are able to win it back. Walker-Peters, former Southampton man, back for Paquetá. Inside the penalty area, Fofana's got it away, but the flag's up anyway against Wilson. West Ham 1, Chelsea 5.
The other thing you'd say, Jim, as well, is that there's one thing this West Ham side have been known to be good at for many years, especially under Moyes, is set plays. You know, to concede 3 in one game You know, that is really worrying. You've got to focus the mind somehow. Are you doing them for too long? Are you putting the wrong people in the wrong jobs? Are you asking them to do things they're not normally doing? What is it? Because conceding 3. I'm right in saying they did. Yeah,
yes,
3.
They have, yeah.
I'm losing track of all the goals.
Yeah.
3 set plays in one game at this level. What chance have you got?
Yeah.
What chance have you got?
Their goals 1, 4 and 5.
That's right, yeah.
The ones that they've conceded from set plays tonight. Individual errors at the heart of that. And I'm sure Graham Potter will feel, well, what chance have I got? How can I legislate for some of the stuff that's happening on the field tonight? It could get worse. Stavo inside the area. Left-footed effort takes a deflection, which took the sting out of it. It took it wide of Hermansen. And there's ironic cheers as he makes a save.
Yeah, that's not right. He's made one mistake. So new keeper, that's not right. But anyway, he should have scored. He gets in there and he takes an extra touch. And Kilman blocks it really well. He's one-on-one with the keeper. Never take an extra touch and try and get too cocky when you finish. Just place it either side. Get your goal. Get your confidence up. Side foot it in. Don't need to chop people and dummy people. Just put it in.
His last goal, of course, came against Chelsea in the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup. It's a 1-in-3 man in his time in Brazil, so he's got an outstanding goal-scoring record coming off the right. Didn't take that chance. It is currently West Ham 1, Chelsea 5. For the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes. Right now you can get João Pedro to score next at 7-1. Jared Bowen at 10-1. As Chelsea bring it forward, Andre Santos's cross is overhit. You can also back Santos himself to score next at 18-1. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18+, gambleaware.org. West Ham 1, Chelsea 5 with 17 minutes to go on a night that is destined to be Chelsea's biggest ever win away to West Ham United. The ball played forward towards Wilson, poked away by Fofana to get it away from him. As you mentioned, great to see Fofana back in action. He hasn't played since mid-March because of a hamstring problem, but he had a much lengthier layoff before that. He's been restricted to only 35 appearances for Chelsea in, 3+ years at the club. It's Wan-Bissaka for West Ham, who are playing with 3 centre-halves again, as Danny predicted. Paquetá laying it off to his left for Diouf. Stevo just tripped over. Tackled by the invisible man in the midfield. He's back on his feet. A play forward into the feet of Wilson. And Fofana followed him up from the defensive line. Poke now towards Jared Bowen. Bowen around the edge of the penalty area, twisting one way and then the other. Then the ball is fired in for Wilson, but didn't get there. Ward-Prowse's delivery just a little bit too high. Sanchez came out and claimed it very comfortably.
Be interesting to really know the inner thoughts of Jared Bowen, wouldn't it? Best player for the last few years for this club. Wonderful talent, goal scorer. Sees is the only other, well, Kudus the most creative player last season with him. Disappear. Doesn't see them bringing in the type of players he probably feels that they need to be competitive. I know he's a fans' favourite and he's the captain, etc., but he's such a high-quality player, really. Should be, for me, playing in a team competing at the top of the table and in the Champions League. Sorry, West Ham fans.
Neto with a layoff, and he's laid it back for Fofana. I think the other point that's worth making is that it's not a West Ham squad that's been decimated by injury. They're without Somerville tonight. They're without young George Earthy. Luis Guilherme, whose West Ham career is yet to really catch light, is out with a shoulder problem as Chelsea bring it forward again with Neto, left-hand side of the box, trying to commit Wan-Bissaka. It was laid back to the edge of the area. Ward-Prowse poked it away.
Poor from Neto, that. Just be ruthless. He got in behind, fire it across, do the right things. Took too long there. Played the wrong way. Just be ruthless. Keep going. Bam. Be really clinical. Put teams to bed. They did that occasionally last season. They weren't clinical enough at times when they were leading games. I remember they played at Fulham at home. They were 1-0 up, lost 2-1. Palace away, they were leading, ended up drawing the game, I think. After having chances, you know, that clinicalness.
Well, the final Chelsea change comes with 13 minutes to go. No goal in his full debut for Stevo. Probably should have been. He takes the applause of the Chelsea supporters and the appreciation of Enzo Maresca as he comes off. And Jamie Giddens is on to replace him. Giddens, who made his full debut after his £55 million move from Dortmund last week. He did okay, but he will certainly feel that there are better days ahead in a Chelsea shirt. So Giddens is on. His appearance will be watched with interest by Thomas Tuchel, amongst others tonight. Thomas Tuchel is here. I'm sure he's already aware that Harry Kane's got a second-half hat-trick for Bayern tonight in a 6-0 win against RB Leipzig. Here's Reece James in possession. James working it down to the right-hand side. England back in action the first week of September, incidentally. Home to Andorra and away in Serbia, and will be at both games here on Talksport September the 6th and the 9th. You can hear both games as England continue the road to the World Cup. Here's Reece James, who wants to be a part of that. Has got the ball now on the Chelsea right. Finds Pedro Neto. You listen to West Ham Chelsea on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. 12 minutes to go. It's long since been over as a contest. And Chelsea not quite going through the motions. They're still showing a little appetite for more, but whilst they haven't quite declared, it's not too far short of that. 12 to go.
It'll be interesting with Gittins to see how he does, because they've paid the same money for him as they got for Madueke. My gut feeling is, seeing him, that Madueke's probably got a bit more. But he might prove me wrong. We'll have to wait and see. Both talented players, of course. Both got plenty of time to grow. Both got real good strengths in their game. I would have understood it more if they got maybe more for Madueke and bought him for less, thinking that he can become better, but we'll see that one personally.
Here's Neto coming in off the right. Giddens is over on the far touchline, the left. It's Caicedo. Plays it to Hato. There's a whole new look of down that left-hand side for Chelsea now. Hato and Giddens combining. Then the ball is worked back towards Fofana. Fofana on the edge of the centre circle. From him to Reece James. Not an awful lot of time for West Ham to recover after this. They go to Wolves in the League Cup in the week. Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got the League Cup covered for you with live action Tuesday night. Sheffield Wednesday against Manchester United. Sheffield Wednesday against Leeds United. I beg your pardon, on Talksport 2. And then Manchester United are in action Wednesday. They go to Grimsby and will be there right here on Talksport Wednesday night in North Lincolnshire. And we'll keep you abreast of all of the goals as they go in at the other games with reporters at the matches that matter, including that Wolves-West Ham clash. Here's Wan-Bissaka, put under pressure, turning on the edge of the D, and then able to get it away. It goes wide towards Walker-Peters, the right wing back down the line for Jared Bowen. Bowen getting the ball in, it's deflected off Tosin, and West Ham have a corner.
It's a good run from Bowen. Nice play down that right-hand side. He's kept going, to be fair to him, trying to lead his team, doing the right things, making the runs, doing the pressing. I think we've talked about the obvious, which is basics, poor mistakes, poor decision-making, but overall, when you look at the team, there's a lack of quality. There really is a lack of quality, you know, in really important areas on the pitch.
Ward-Prowse then in this latest corner, and Kilman going up for it. He didn't get that far. It's been headed away. It might even have been a Gad that got there first. He's put it out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our left, and Graham Potter with his hand thoughtfully on his bearded chin must be wondering where to go next. He will not be sleeping well tonight. Their next league match away at Forest next weekend, and then Spurs and Palace come here in quick succession. Since he took over, the Hammers bottom for XG, for shots and for passes played into the box. And he's going to be the first Hammers manager ever to take fewer than 10 points in his first 10 home Premier League games. Just 9 in the 10 matches here as West Ham manager.
They're damning numbers.
But how much of it is down to Graham? How much of it is down to recruitment? How much of it is down to other factors?
Exactly, I was going to say, we talked about it before the game, and he's not been helped. I don't know what he was told when he came through the door. I think he must have been told, or must have felt, that he was going to have this summer to try and improve this squad. They've lost one of the best players. They've only brought in players who are squad players at best, really. Maybe Diouf, the only one. The keeper's come in and he's not hit the ground running. So I do feel for him, but your job is to find a way with the players you've got and to get more out of them.
Sorry, Dan, how many do you think they need? Realistically, how many short are they in the squad and the first 11 as Chelsea win a free kick for a foul on Pedro Neto?
I think if they get nobody, they'll have a long, hard season, but they'll just stay up. I think it'll be a tough one. I think they need to make it more comfortable. They need 3. I'd say 2 in the middle of the park who've really got athleticism and tenacity and get about the pitch. Don't even have to be the best footballers in the world. Just players who can do the yards and not be dominated. And then I also think they need a centre-half as well. If they're going to play 3 at the back, they need some depth, some cover, some pace, because 2 of the 3 aren't particularly quick. I'd be looking for a couple of midfielders and a centre-half, minimum. Bowen will get you goals, Wilson will chip in if he stays fit, Fulkrug will get you some, Somerville will come back, Paquetá should improve now, the weight off his shoulders with the charges gone. But they can't be conceding 8 goals in the first 2 games and expect to, progress and have a good season and expect the fans to be behind them. You've got to be hard to beat. You've got to be tough. He might get I was just thinking about something. He might get criticised for changing it half time because they conceded 2, but he had no choice. He was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. Because if you stay as a 5 and they concede, you haven't had a go. He tried to make a positive change and it didn't work. And when you break football matches down, for 25 minutes they were pretty good.
Yeah.
30 even. 25 minutes. Till the 3rd goal went in, it was a competitive game.
Yep, absolutely. But for a very close offside call, they could have been 2-1 up with 20 minutes played. And how might the game have developed from there? Because Chelsea were poor in that opening 20 minutes. West Ham thoroughly deserved to be ahead when they went 2-1 down. But it has unravelled alarmingly quickly from that point. 5-1, Chelsea lead. We've got 6 to go. With Talksport and James Ward-Prowse is in possession for West Ham. It brings it forward towards halfway. Plays it out towards Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's gone square through the midfield. Now down towards Kilman. Kilman chipping it forward. And here's Diouf chesting it down. Good little 1-2 between him and Paquetá. Paquetá on the left-hand side of the penalty area, forced away by Fofana. And it's good defending by Neto, who's done some tireless running tonight.
He has. He looks fit, looks sharp. I like his work ethic. Very prepared to do his work going back the other way.
Just ran out of room here. He's conceded a throw, which has been taken by Diouf. And having got the ball back, he works it through the midfield towards Potts. Potts out towards Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka out towards Jared Bowen. Bowen towards the edge of the penalty area will drop his shoulder, try and take his man on. He's still travelling with the ball, and Tosin puts it away. Out of play for a corner. Carlton Morris has equalised. Live over on Talksport 2. It's Derby 1, Bristol City 1. That game about to go into 4 minutes of added time. 1-1 there at Pride Park between Derby and Bristol City. Not too many signs of a late equaliser here. It's going to be some story if West Ham can find one. They're 5-1 down in the 86th minute.
Hato just had a little lesson. If you get too tight to the clever players we've got here, like Jared Bowen, can't get too tight and get spun and get run out like that. It was just super play from Bowen again, that was.
Tosin came across, conceded the corner.
Yeah.
West Ham have done nothing with it. It was fired in again with a high tariff chance. Heads high and wide. And there are empty white seats everywhere you look. Chelsea end still packed to the rafters, but for West Ham this has been a really chastening night.
In some ways I don't think it's been a surprise. I think we all expected Chelsea to make chances and score some goals. I'm surprised at the manner of some of them. If you'd have said to me Chelsea are going to score 3 set plays against West Ham tonight, I'd have probably scoffed at that, because we know that West Ham have been a good set piece side for a long time, and as I said before, there's going to be reasons for that.
Potts just got caught in the midfield, play continued, then Harto came and dealt with Bowen, and he's the first player to receive a yellow card tonight. He's tracked Bowen back into a central position and lent into him. He knew the danger of letting him get past there. So Harto in the book with 3 to go.
So I think if you're losing 5 at home and at least 8 of your players haven't been yellowed, there's something wrong.
Tough school, Dan.
No, I know I'm exaggerating a little bit to prove the point, but
I get the point.
I don't remember a time you'd think he's, you know, they're all angry now. They're all putting a foot in and going. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
Walker-Peters getting inside the penalty area. Paquetá trying to shape up for a shot, and then Ward-Prowse got caught. Fofana caught his trailing leg, and it is a free kick almost in prime Ward-Prowse territory. Just maybe a little bit too close to the edge of the penalty area.
What a silly foul that is from Fofana. I know it doesn't matter at this stage, but they've got people around him, doesn't need to do it. He can't be far away from Beckham's record, can he? Is he 1 away, 2 away?
He's 1 away, and I don't know whether the next one equals the record or breaks it.
I think it equals it, but I wouldn't put any money on that.
You'd put more money on him being able to score from here than our statistical excellence.
Do you know what? It's a surprise he hasn't scored one for a while, actually. I know he had a spell on the sidelines, didn't he? I think he went on loan and didn't play too much.
Yeah, our producer Declan McCarthy tells me that this would equal the record.
You're right, it is close.
So potentially a little bit of history to be made here. There are 5 in the Chelsea wall. Ward-Prowse hits it right-footed, and the wall did its job. And it spins the free kick over the bar and out of play for a corner, and he runs down towards the corner flag with frustration etched across his face.
Yeah, tough one because it's close. He tried to reverse it, I think. We might not see a replay, but it was really good defending. It wasn't actually from the wall. I think somebody behind the wall got in the path of it and headed it, because he whipped it the other way, but yeah, really difficult from that close.
In comes his corner, and that was a chance for Kilman coming in at the far post. He's nodded it into the ground and wide.
Yeah. But these are the type of situations I talked about before the game. I mean, when you go round the West Ham side, they've got some big lads. I know Souček's gone off now, I think. Kilman, Aguerd, Wilson, Souček, Paquetá, 6 foot plus. Obviously Fulkrug when he was on.
3 more minutes for West Ham fans to endure, and they really have been enduring this, the ones that have stayed. Walker-Peters has got the ball inside his own penalty area. He sent it back for Mes Hermansen. Bowen will poke the ball down the right-hand touchline. Chelsea inevitably win it back. Harto there to find his goalkeeper. Sanchez plays out towards Fofana. Now played forward over the halfway line. Neto in space to the right of Andre Santos. He's played him in. Neto trying to score a 6. And the shot is blocked by Aguerd, who then turned and had a little word with Neto. Clipped back in. Neto making a far post run. Heads it into Aguerd. Big appeals for handball from the Chelsea fans and from Neto himself. But the initial decision is corner.
Good ball, actually. Ooh. A bit close, isn't it? Did hit his arm, but he's right. He heads it. No, it's not a penalty.
Well, the left arm is out in an unnatural position, but has it hit high up enough up the left arm to spare his blushes?
I think proximity is the key here.
Yep. Jared Gill at the VAR
and
agrees with you. Well, that...
I don't mean with any deceitful manner. I mean subconsciously, if you're sat in VAR, you think, you know what, it's a bit close, leave it.
In comes the corner instead, in towards the near post, and it's an awkward in-swinger from Neto that was on target. It's dealt with in front of Hermansen. Comes back out towards Neto. Enzo Fernandez clipping the ball in. Hermansen has come out and caught it. More ironic cheers. It's
horrible.
Might take him a while to win them round. And this, remember, just his second game for the club after his move from Leicester City. Ball played out towards Diouf. All over by the shouting now with 40-odd seconds to go. It's been all over in terms of a contest since just past the half-hour mark. Freddie Potts trying to play a 1-2 with the visibly tiring Diouf. Well played by Reece James to be able to turn away. 1-1 the game in the Championships. Finish live over on Talksport 2. Point for Bristol City at Derby. Here come Chelsea looking for the cherry on the icing on the top of the cake, but Neto's just been crowded out of it inside the penalty area, and Agued's knocked it away, finding Paquetá, and he's been fouled by João Pedro. And this free kick to West Ham might just be the last action of the game.
Trying to be a bit clever there again, Neto. I know he's tired and he's ran himself into the ground, to be fair to him, but anyway, job done. Well played, Chelsea. Great reaction from going a goal down. Lots of good performances. They'll be really pleased.
The boos ring round the London Stadium. They would have been much louder still had 35,000 West Ham United supporters not already been on the tube home. This, a torrid night. They've been playing Chelsea in cross-capital clashes for 102 years. Never have they been beaten on their own patch by the Blues as heavily as this. They went 1-0 up with a world-class goal. Even when Chelsea went 2-1 up, Hammers still deserved to be ahead. But it unravelled very quickly. And the danger is that West Ham's season might just go the same way. Tonight, they have been battered and bluesed in the London derby. West Ham 1, Chelsea 5. Where do the Hammers go from here?
Well, from bad to worse for West Ham United. Just 2 games into the new campaign, they've conceded 8 goals, they've lost both games, they already face the ire of their fan base. The outlook is bleak unless this squad is strengthened. Graham Potter says there's no silver bullet. He needs to be careful he doesn't step into the crosshairs of the West Ham United board. 20 Premier League games, just 5 wins, and without a win at home since February. And now his side allowed Chelsea their biggest ever win away at West Ham United in a league game. It might not be crisis yet, but it could well be heading that way. We're going to hear from Potter, we'll hear from his counterpart Enzo Maresca as well, live on TalkSport from the tunnel at the London Stadium, so don't move a muscle. Sports Bar Weekender on the way with former Hammer Carlton Cole and Adam Cantrell. West Ham fans, where does your side go from here? Do you still believe that Potter can turn things around? 03717 223344. You can also send us a voice note on WhatsApp. If you've just left the London Stadium, send it to the same number. Give us your review on what you've seen tonight and keep it clean if you can. 03717 223344. Danny Murphy, on what we've seen tonight, you said it in commentary, there was a lack of resilience from West Ham United. Do they lack leaders? You know, the same as at Sunderland, 1 goal became 2, became 3, and so much experience leaving the club in the summer. Was that why they lack resilience?
No, I think there's players like Ward-Prowse, Kilman, Souček, experienced, Jared Bowen. They're not a young group of inexperienced, lads who are being overawed by the pressure or the occasion. There's something not quite right in the way they're set up. They don't look completely comfortable. I think there's a lack of athleticism in the team, which never makes games easy when you're playing against such dynamic teams such as Chelsea. But the basics that Graham Potter talked about, and I've said it, I've touched on it a couple of times tonight. he's right. The basics are crucial to getting good results at this level. And for some reason, it's not happening, the basics. I'm talking about winning headers on set plays, tracking runs, getting caught in possession, communication, people running off the back of you on your wrong shoulder. Simple things that really shouldn't be happening that often at this level. And that can only be a couple of things. One, the manager's messaging ain't quite right, or the players aren't up for the task.
Are we putting too much emphasis on the transfer window? There's all this conversation, and Graham Potter said there's no silver bullet, but there's all this conversation around West Ham United needing players. On the basis of what you've seen tonight, is that because they haven't done enough business in the window, or is that just currently a poorly coached team playing badly?
I think it's I think both. I think there's a definite lack of quality, which is the recruitment and the bad spending in previous years. And I also think some of the players aren't quite sure on what their roles are, and they're a little bit in between. I don't think they're not playing for him. I just don't think the message is clear. And even in the first half, there was times where Bowen was up front with Fulcrum, and there was times where Bowen dropped in on the right, and they ended up Paquetá on the left and a 5-4-1, and then it was a 5-3-2 at different spells in the first half. So I think I'm quite good at spotting it, and I was like, what are you trying to do here?
Does his job depend on how the rest of the transfer window goes for West Ham?
Ultimately, yes. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to give these fans the performances he wants with the squad he's got.
Just very quickly, they did score 5 tonight. How good were Chelsea?
I thought they responded to the early setback quite well. The equaliser was the big key, because that just settled them down again. And then they grew in confidence. They've got great rotation of positions. They've got high quality. I still think in the first 20 minutes you saw the vulnerability at the back. West Ham opened them up a good few times, but watching them go forward, that's going to be a exciting season for those Chelsea fans, watching how they fly forward and how many options they've got in those areas, coming off the bench, starting the game. Little downer on Cole Palmer. They'll be fingers crossed that he's going to be okay, but defensively, still a few little things you can see there that might be problematic.
Things to work on for Chelsea despite a big win. They face Fulham live and exclusive on Talksport next Saturday lunchtime. Next up for West Ham, a trip to Wolves in the EFL Cup on Tuesday night before a trip to the City Ground in the Premier League to face Nottingham Forest next Sunday. Elsewhere tonight, by the way, in the Championship, Derby won, Bristol City won. Carlton Morris with his third in 3 games. 86-minute goal to cancel out Scott Twine's first half opener in the Scottish Championship. Finished Wraith 2, Dunfermline 0. Women's Rugby World Cup began tonight. England 69, USA 7 in rugby leagues. St Helens 16, Hull FC 6, Lee 36, Salford 6. Time now here at the London Stadium, though, for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Danny Murphy, who have you gone for?
Well, it was a tough one, because I thought Chalobah was outstanding, especially in the first half when they needed some impetus, got after people and took risks, gone up high, good with the ball, good without the ball. But I'm going to give it to Neto. He was a constant thorn in the side of West Ham, and as you and I were talking about, that defensive work for his team, relentless on either side, left and right, he was terrific, and understandably had cramp in the last few minutes. I just hope for Chelsea's sake he can stay fit, because he's a terrific player.
Pedro Neto, our man of the match, our Here For It hero from tonight's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.